Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. We come at you every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the charts, the news, the markets, the economics, and everything you need to have knowledge. Why? Because knowledge is profit right there, guys. Thanks for joining us here today. We got a lot of news to go over. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump making a promise. With the whole group here, the whole team. We're going to discuss that. How does that work for an executive power? If even if it, someone pushes it all the way up through the other branches and he vetoes it and it comes back again. Like there's a lot of nuances there to keep that promise. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to look at the jobless claims today. Came out causing the Dixie to pump. A major analyst on YouTube has called for a $38,000 Bitcoin. Are we heading that direction? Is that the some dumping and selling of Bitcoin? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get all of that in. Let's go ahead and kick it over though, because I got a team and I don't do this by myself. So let's get this team in here and let's talk it out. So, guys, what's up? How you
Let's
guys doing?
go.
Yo,
I'm good, man. Bless viewers. And it said, "This is my favorite crypto show." So thank you very much.
it feels good when you get things like that. Honestly, it really does. So,
Yeah, nah, it's awesome, man.
oh, see, how you doing today, bro? What's up, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Everything is much better. The only thing I'm missing it is my warm and tasty coffee. That's the only thing that I'm missing. But I'm here with the bros and getting ready to start taking a look at the charts. So, guys, thank you
Let's
everybody for
go.
being here, part of the family. I really enjoy reading you guys and also all of your comments. So it just makes my day start like amazingly.
Absolutely, man. Love it, love it, love it. Let's go ahead and jump in on the news and stuff, and let's get this rolling here so that we can have this conversation because we got some talk, we got some chats to have today, guys. Jumping over here into the news, you can see right Chia. We got Bitcoin up about 0.5% in the past hour, up 0.2% for the past day, but down for the week, down for the month. Like Bitcoin in the hurts right now. Current price 42,570. Ethereum up about almost a full percent in the past hour, getting a little rebound on that, but we are sitting in the red for the day and the week there. Any other big movers in the past day? Let's go see what we got here. We got Tron up 1.1%. We got 3.9% up on Filecoin, and let's see here, 9.3% on Hex. Garbage. I'm always going to do that every time. So you guys can see here on the looking at the big red crypto bubbles. We got a few that are green on here, but nothing really big. And if we take a look at the market cap for the day, there you go. There's your top tokens on the market cap. BNB up 0.7%. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. Oh, I do want to point out though that regardless of how it's all going, I might be down 1.56% for the past 24 hours, but I'm still up 12.8% on my HODL bag. So this pullback, hurting, seeing the unrealized losses disappear, but not the end of the day for me. In liquidations in the past 24 hours here, guys, we do have $102.1 million in total liquidations. In the past 24 hours, 49,873 traders liquidated there. And then that largest single liquidation, hey, look, that $3 million mark is back there for you, TradeFly. $3.48 million in the
There
single
it is,
liquidation
man.
on
There it is.
ETH. Yep. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Taking a look here at the economic calendar, what I was telling you guys about in the intro, that is right here. We got Fed Bostic. He's one of the Federal Reserve guys speaking today at 5:30 a.m. He's already spoken. Wow, he must be speaking somewhere over in like Europe or something, because that's a really odd time to be speaking, because that would be 5:30 my time. 7:30 a.m. Maybe he was talking at 7:30 a.m. in DC, but I don't know many people in DC that are up at 7:30 in the morning to listen to that type of talk. So, building permits, guys, coming in 6:30 a.m. this morning. They came in 1.49, almost 1.5 million new preliminary permits were written. They actually thought it was just going to be slightly above the previous at 1.48. It was at 1.467 before. Actually came in higher. So lots of new buildings, despite, commercial real estate being a downside thing. And then right here's the big one that I was talking about, initial jobless claims. These came out, it was at 203,000 people that claimed for unemployment last week. They thought it was going to be even higher at 207,000, 205,000 for the consensus and forecast. Came in at 187,000 jobless claims. Now, keep in mind, when these numbers come out, the Fed typically tends to come back the next month and put in the correction data, which ends up being way off from what they initially claimed. But right now, they're saying, hey, look, labor force is good. So we'll have to look and see how that plays out. Tomorrow, we've got the existing home sales in the Michigan consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment right now is saying that it's going to be higher on consensus, a little bit lower on forecast. So we'll have to see. How do you feel? Let us know in the chat. How is the consumer, feel about the current economy? Do you want to go buy stuff, or do you want to save your hard-earned money because you think more stuff is coming down the road that you're going to need that cash for? Let us know in the chat. Let's go ahead and jump in, take a look here at the CME futures. Evidently, the sentiment of the CME is not as bullish as what you're seeing there on those numbers. So looking here at January 31st right now, guys, we have a 97.4% chance of rate pause. No cuts, no increases, just pause, just chill, right? If we look at March, this was sitting up there at like 92% at one point, something like that. It looks like a 57% chance now of an ease. So they're saying between this number here added to this number here, that in March, 57% chance that we see a rate cut, 43% chance of a rate pause. Now, here's the big one. May was where we saw like a 99.7% chance of a rate cut. It's now almost a 50-50 here of how much it's going to get cut. It's coming in at 93.1%, but we're almost at a 50-50 here on if it's going to be 50 basis points or 25 basis points. Now, we don't truly get into that 100 mark until June, though, guys. In June, we have a 100% chance right there. 100% chance, according to CME Futures, an analyst, that we get a rate cut. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The Fed Reserve and Jerome Powell still very hawkish on this, that there may not even be a rate cut in 2024. The analyst at the CME Fed Watch still saying that there will be. We're going to have to wait and see. That is going to be January 31st. So we're not that far away from getting that data, about 2 weeks away from getting that speech. And then that's going to be where we get all these numbers come out. And then everyone's going to go, holy crap, he's really hawkish, or holy crap, he's really dovish. And the markets are going to move one way or the other hard, guys. If he comes out and he says anything about no rate cuts in 2024, or do not expect to see many rate cuts in 2024, we could see a harsh pullback in the market. So keep an eye on that. Let's jump into the first article here. We've got Shiba Inu in the news. Robinhood, guys. Robinhood's Shiba Inu wallet adds over 200 billion tokens in a day amid ongoing accumulation. Just so you guys know, prominent Shiba Inu community member has recently pointed out that the data from Arkham Intelligence shows that the commission-free trading platform, Robinhood, currently has 36.684 trillion SHIB coins in its wallet. And it's its largest holding. There was an article that came out last year, and it was really the big reason that Robinhood made it so decent through the bull market, or through the bear market, was because their majority holding was a token that did 46 million% run up in the bull run. So they made a lot of money. Tweet yesterday showed 36.45 trillion, and now in less than 24 hours, they have 36.68. So yeah, they added a lot of Shiba Inu. So maybe they're feeling bullish on Shiba Inu again. I don't know. Repeat play. We'll see. let's get here. This is Bitcoin miners in selling mode, dumping $450 million in Bitcoin in a single day. Bitcoin miners offloading again as reserves slump to a yearly low, dropping more than 10,000 Bitcoin in a single day. Bitcoin miners sold more than 10,000 on January 17th, which would have been yesterday, registering the largest daily decline in miner reserves in over a year. According to data from on-chain analytics provider CryptoQuant, Bitcoin miner reserves declined by 10,233, which is roughly about $450 million. When prices and profitability increase, such as in recent months, miners switch to a selling phase. Historically, miners sell the coins to replenish cash flow or capture higher prices in a rally. The price of Bitcoin has been in the $42,000 to $43,000 range over the past few days. So, Bitcoin miners in the selling mode. There's the little tweet on it showing you. You can see there the priced USD is this black line here, and then the miner reserves, that big drop right there. That would be them selling off their stuff as that was moving there. So, that's not all we have in selling though. Let's go ahead and jump over to TradeFly's chart because you got some Bitcoin selling news also. So let's do that.
Yeah, man. So there's a little, we'll say, on-chain analysis that was being done in the background here, and they noticed that a whale actually sold off 5 billion Bitcoin right essentially when they did the spot ETF approval. So they are kind of maybe loosely correlating that to the drop, and that would make sense if that was done, through an exchange. I don't know that aspect of it though, but I mean, this dude bought 100,000 Bitcoin essentially during the run in 2021, and so he risked $4 billion to make 100 million. So kind of crazy, a little bit scary. I'm not saying I would have made that move, but the dude ultimately did make some profit. But just know that that could have really actually affected the price and could have been a little bit of the reason for some of the sell off. And it may not so much have been a sell the news event.
Yeah. So when the sell-offs happen, guys, that's the bottom line. But do you want to know who really thinks that we're going to have a big sell-off? Do you know who that is?
Let's see. Are we a crypto person or are we a news person, or just a famous individual?
He's
I'm going to say Kramer. I'm going to say Kramer.
It's not Kramer, but he is bearish, which means that it's going up. Don't worry, show's over. No, guys, check it out. Jamie Dimon. We're going to talk about this one.
I saw this.
JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon believes that Satoshi Nakamoto will either increase or completely erase the Bitcoin supply. So you guys know 21 million Bitcoin ever. That's it. That's how it's built, right? Jamie Dimon believes that Satoshi Nakamoto will resurface either digitally, virtually, anonymously, somewhere in the interwebs or in person, and will either increase or completely erase the Bitcoin supply. Tell me you don't understand decentralization and voting without telling me you don't understand decentralization and voting. Let's go here and take a look at this. Jamie Dimon expressed an unusual theory in which he suggested that Bitcoin could be eliminated once its maximum supply is issued. He said, I think there's a good chance that when we get to the 21 million Bitcoin in 140 years, Satoshi Nakamoto is going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, and all the Bitcoin is going to be erased. So there again, he doesn't even understand how long. If you think, maybe I'm just, hyperbole. This is a hyperbole from him, maybe. But if he thinks that Satoshi Nakamoto is still going to be alive in 140 years when we hit that 21 million Bitcoin, I'd like to know. Maybe in his world, maybe the elite have that immortality machine that they're keeping in an underground bunker somewhere. Tinfoil hat time. Diamond also suggested that. Excuse me. Contrary to this, that there is no guarantee that Bitcoin issuance will end once it reaches 21 million. How the hell do you know that it's going to stop at 21 million? I've never met one person who told me that they know that for a fact. One of Diamond's co-panelists, CNBC Squawk, Box host Joe Kernan noted that the last Bitcoin will not be mined until 2140. Well, at least he knows what the hell he's talking about. Due to increasing mining difficulty, Kernan added that Bitcoin shares many economic properties with gold, to which Diamond replied, "You may be right, but I don't own gold either." So there you go. And then, of course, Diamond's theories are unfounded because Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, but does not have control over the blockchain. So thank God people are writing these articles and talking to Jamie Dimon to that know what they're talking about. But Diamond's theories are unfounded. That he has no control over it. 21 million maximum supply is currently hard coded into its source code. Any change to that rule requires agreement among miners who are unlikely to adjust due to their vested interest in the current model, which is exactly how this is built. Welcome to the grand design of Bitcoin. Jamie Dimon, I strongly recommend that you get online, type in Bitcoin white paper, and maybe read those little squiggly characters that are called letters. Letters form words. Words have meaning. When you put words into a sentence format or structure, it conveys an idea or a concept. You, sir, need to use some of that brain power that you that you used to get into your CEO position of JP Morgan, and maybe learn about Bitcoin, because you would understand how much trouble your bank is actually in. What do you guys think? Talk to me here.
DYOR, bro. Let's do
No
that
kidding.
before you talk. So it's funny you say that, right? So one of the things that I've noticed being in some of the like bigger companies in the aerospace industry is that a lot of times you're going to see that CEOs of a company don't even really know their own company. So for them to
Fact.
really be the subject matter expert and to be talking about something that is outside of their wheelhouse, it's just comical to me, and I'm not surprised by this at all, to be honest.
Well, but for someone who speaks like so deliberately about Bitcoin when he talks about crypto, that it's used for all these nefarious ideas and stuff,
Bro.
you would think that he knows something about what he's talking about. Like you wouldn't make claims without knowing anything about the product that you're making claims about, would you, Jamie Dimon? Like,
So let me tell you about one of the most notorious sayings that I hear with some of like the bigger players in business. Fake it till you make it. So every time you talk with confidence. You try to inspire, you try to make people think you know what you're talking about. And the people that have made it to the top are excellent at that. But then you realize once you do the research on the backside, you're like, what did he just say? Like
but
that doesn't even
that's
make
how
sense. It doesn't even align.
that's how I
So,
got promoted all the way to first sergeant in the Army. I
hey man,
fake it till I make it,
take
and
it till you make
then
it. I've heard it over and over.
I was there doing the job, and I knew what I was doing because I faked it until I'd learned what I needed to know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're always working one level up above, and of course you can't really know that until you get there, right? So, yeah,
That's true.
interesting. Interesting thought concept
Mhm.
there. OC guy, your thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, I do believe that they're gonna erase Bitcoin. 100% sure. Just kidding. No, of course not. Like my retirement savings are on Bitcoin, so hopefully, I mean, really hopefully that doesn't happen. But I do have my theory here, and I don't have yet my tinfoil hat, but this is what I believe
I
that's
need a
going to happen.
tinfoil hat.
Not. Yeah,
He's
I
got a lot
need
of
to make
theories
it.
every day. I'm noticing it's the OC guy theory. Maybe we should turn it into a segment.
Oh yeah. Oh, that could be amazing. I love
Yeah.
making some like very like in the rabbit hole investigations. But here's my take. At some point, we know that Bitcoin is not enough for the whole people, right? To actually use it as money. And I believe that was he meant in trying to latch into it, to compare it to money to the people that doesn't really understand Bitcoin. But there's something also that is making me bearish about Bitcoin, which is if we never do anything about it, there's gonna be a point where somebody dies and lost their wallet, they lose their keys, so on and so forth, until we get into a point where there's only going to be one single Bitcoin, right? So I mean I mean, because we're not mining anymore, we cannot produce anymore, therefore Bitcoin, it's going to get lost forever, right? So I believe that we need to make a consensus in the chain, in the within miners, and also within the big blocks, to rescue that lost Bitcoin and put it back into circulation somehow. And I believe we're going to get to a point there between the next 50 years when we realize that that's going to be happening and that's going to be a problem or an issue. So I believe there's going to be something that you might be able to report your Bitcoin or state that you lost those keys and present proof. The proof of change, it is that it got to you, right? And you might be through also regulation, be able to sign your wallet. And that way we can just get into a consent not to give it back to that person because it needs to be that person either right or something that they cannot get it back and then put it back into recirculation as new Bitcoin coming back from the dead.
Yeah, I think that would actually hurt Bitcoin to do that because it would show that they can go in and get and move Bitcoin behind seed walls. So I don't ever want that to happen. I think that would crash Bitcoin because it would look way less secure. But I see your point. Let's go ahead and continue on here. I think that your point is good, OC. I do think that there will be a time that their theory right now is that fees alone will keep people invested as being, facilitators after there's no more mining. But, who knows if that's going to be the case or not, and it seems like that's too much of a risk for 140 years from now for Bitcoin to still be a thing. But we need to move on. I need to get through the rest of these articles so we can get into the TA. But interesting, and yeah, maybe that's a project for OC Guy and Crux of Crypto to do together for a video. It's 2140. What happens to Bitcoin? So we'll take a look at that. SEC guys here yesterday. If you don't know, SEC in the case with Coinbase, it was all over yesterday. People were watching it live and stuff. Crypto security lawyers weighed in on the judge's remark after a 5-hour court hearing on Coinbase's motion to dismiss the SEC lawsuit. If you those that don't know, the judge came out and said, made a comment. So the United States securities regulator apparently failed to effectively argue the difference between Beanie Babies and securities during the recent hearing in New York. The crypto exchange has been trying to have a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities SEC against it dismissed by the New York court with oral arguments. So yesterday, here's what happened. Just put this in short terms. Judge Fala, paraphrasing, the SEC's security test would lead to a class action lawsuit against the seller of Beanie Babies. The SEC then tries to distinguish Beanie Babies and for the most part fails because the truth is that for the SEC, a Beanie Baby is a security because someone bought it with the intent of making more money through a third party. That's the Howey test, right? So this is they're losing over there. And I just want to show you guys this thing right here. This is November 2023. Debt, judge troubled by the SEC's misrepresentation, threatens sanctions, rebuked. October 2023, Ripple, loss. SEC drops a lawsuit against Ripple executives. August 2023, Grayscale, loss. SEC wrong to deny a spot Bitcoin ETF proposal. July 2023, Ripple, loss. XRP sell did not violate securities laws. June 2023, Binance setback. SEC's motion for a restraining order rebuffed. Guys, we're getting ready to add another one on here. I think it's going to be Coinbase, not doing too well against the SEC. So, and then let's get right over here. This is our headline one today, guys. Donald Trump promises to never allow central bank digital currencies if elected. We're just going to go ahead and just watch the video here. Give me 1 second. Make sure I got this on the right thing. There we go. And then let's get in here and get this going.
I didn't know you know so much. I'm very well. New Hampshire, very smart people.
Is that breaking up? Is that choppy?
Very current. You know what they're doing. Such a currency would give a federal government, our federal government, the absolute control over your money. They could take your money. You wouldn't even know it was gone. This would be a. Tonight, I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As
Let's mute it.
So there you go. That is Donald Trump yesterday there on his election campaign election promises, and he said Not going to do it, guys. We are not going to have a CBDC if I'm elected president. So, let's talk this real fast and then we'll jump in. Does he have the authority and power to do that if he's the president? Like, he can veto it once, but if it comes back through again with approval from the other two branches, he can't keep vetoing it, right? Eventually it's going to push through. So is the Senate, is the Congress and Senate strong enough against crypto to push a CBDC through the president twice, even if he's elected? Do we get a CBDC regardless of who's president, or is Trump the knight in shining armor with his VP Ramaswamy standing next to him, and they fight off the CBDC lovers out there? Tell me your thoughts, Tradefly OC, real quick.
Yeah, man. I think that, yeah, they'd probably be able to fight it off for, at least his term, for sure. I mean, the way the government is now at this point, like the Republicans and Democrats are so split, a lot of times you're going to see status quo, right? So things will continue on, and it's really hard to get things through Congress, especially if you don't have the majority of the seats. So that's going to be kind of the other piece of this, right? Not just the president, but who's going to control, the Congress. And when that happens, then you might see some things get pushed through. But yeah, I think they'll be able to fight it off. I mean, I don't see that being a huge issue. CBDC in the grand scheme of things is probably very far down on the totem pole.
Yep. OC, thoughts?
Yeah, I see. I think the CBDC, it's basically it's gonna be a reality. I do hope and actually think that this needs to be pushed far ahead because we are not ready. But if you want a comparison, I mean, who owns the US dollar? As for in my country, who owns the Mexican peso, right? I mean, whatever kind of digital money that you have, because we still have credit cards, bank accounts, anything other than physical actual money, right? And even though who owns that money is your central bank, right? So I do remember one big guy in here that run out of the country because he was chasing after for the government. They froze their bank account. So I mean, without him being able to even withdraw or use the value that he had stored there, it was locked. So we are not that far away right now from a CBDC, although the consequences of a CBDC, as they are stated right now, I believe that should be elongated, prolongated, stopped, or pushed for farther on into time.
Nice. Let's go ahead and jump into. Yeah, I agree. We had a split here. I think eventually we're going to see digital currency.
Yeah.
If it's going to replace everything, I don't know. But I mean, essentially, our money is digital currency right now. Like, yeah, you can go pull out notes, but for the most part, it's already digital. But that central bank digital currency, I mean, when you don't have the ability to pull $20 out of the bank and pay Timmy down the road to mow your grass without the IRS knowing about it, that's when I start to have an issue, So let's go ahead and jump into the TA, guys. Let's kick it off right now. We're going to take a look at the Dixie, and then we're going to go take a look at Bitcoin because we had a major analyst calling for $38,000 Bitcoin. I'm going to show that, and then we're going to everyone do a little Bitcoin TA, and then we'll get into the other stuff, all the good stuff, right? Taking a look at the Dixie here, guys. We did break up. We talked about this, and I said this yellow line down here was the 100-week exponential moving average, and if we continued up, likely looking at this 50, and that's exactly where we headed here. We pulled back a little bit this week, but now we're heading back up there again, getting a little wick back and cool down right now in the Dixie. Let's go ahead and pull up Bitcoin now and take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. Sideways. Guys, all this FUD, all this sell-off, all this fear, Bitcoin still just kind of going sideways. So sitting right there on that delta median line, that's that blue line right there from the predictive ranges. I'm not overly concerned about this, but I do want to go and show you this real fast here so you guys know who I'm talking about. Not those guys. Those guys are awesome. It's going to be this one right here. $38,000 incoming. Benjamin Cowan sheds light on Bitcoin's next move. And so he's calling this. If you guys don't know who Benjamin Cowan is, he's a mathematics genius, like masters and like he does like quantum mathematics. The guy's really, really smart. He's got a YouTube channel. I'm actually banned he blocked me on X because I pointed out how good my math is and proved him wrong on a couple of things, and then he got mad at me. So moreover, he said that evidently, man, evidently. But yeah, he's calling for a $38,000 Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and jump back over there and let's see what $38,000 Bitcoin looks like here. We've been talking about my favorite chart for a while. Shout out to all the people that love my chart. Guys, look, 38,400, 36,340. I said we have to come back to this before the next run. If we repeat the pattern of previous bear cycles, look, 0.66 tested beautifully there before the move up. 0.66 tested beautifully there before the move up. And keep in mind, they're still wicking down there. So let's go and see what that $38,000 would be. I'm going to guess it's going to sit right in the middle of my golden pocket and right there at the right below it. So wick below that 0.66 and take off. Look, no mathematics, historical trend and patterns. There you go. So I'm going to kick it over to you, TradeFly. Let's talk about some TA. You can give me a quick Bitcoin and then go show what you, then I'll go to OC. He can show his Bitcoin. And then we're going to start rolling out some TA, take a look at some chain link, some Matic, whatever you guys want to show. Let's go.
Hey, I'm gonna pull a Army Piper move. You heard it here first. I think Army Piper just said to short. I think that's what I heard. Because we will revisit.
Not financial advice. Here, hold on. Here, let me do this. Not financial advice. There you go. And then also, if you guys haven't done it, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, get notified every time we go live right here on the show. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, real fast, guys, we hit 700 subscribers yesterday. That's awesome. Can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it?
Let me see which one. How about double thumbs up?
Double thumbs up. There you go. That does that.
There it is. Fireworks.
There you go. All right. Go ahead and get your TA in. I don't give financial advice, just for the record. So let's go.
Yeah. Only when you're wearing a beanie. Don't forget that. All right.
Only when I'm wearing a beanie do I give financial advice.
I'm gonna make that for you for Christmas. All right, man. Mine's gonna be super, super short here. All right, because I know that OC guy is gonna come behind me. He's gonna give you all the crazy details, all kinds of spaghetti. And he's going to let you know what it's going to do in the next 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and an hour. All right. So I'll leave that to him. Here's what I'm going to say. Right now, we're sitting with the volume area high. All right. That is actually providing some support. Army gave you the 43.6 call a couple days ago. That played out pretty nice. But right now, we're consolidating. If you go down to the lower time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, you're going to see consolidation here for Bitcoin. All right. So we're kind of in a critical area, I'll say, right? Because we got to hold this support level. It can come down, just looking at some of the wicks here, where we've tested for previous support to about 40,700 or so. Now, the thing I want to point out to you guys, I would say the learning point for the day, right, is coming down to the indicators, right? And if you guys pull up the traditional RSI, which the prime oscillator is based on, you're also going to see bearish divergence. All right. So when you're seeing price action go up and RSI come down or trending down, you're actually showing some bearish divergence. Now, for me, I like working from the daily time frame. That's more of my thing, trying to bring the 4 hour into my analysis. But when I see this on the daily, that gives me a little bit of pause here. And there's two things that I'm going to start looking for now, right? I'm going to see, are we forming any kind of bottoming? Are we getting an indication of bottoming, which the MVP oscillator will say yes. And you can see that the RSI now is starting to trend up. So that might be a good sign that we could find some support here and actually hold this level. However, at this top here at about, 49K, 48K, and we started printing these bearish divergence indications, that should have been a pretty big indication for us to be cautious, right? So again, this is the daily, and these are some things that I look for in trade setups. And the reason I'm pointing this out to you, because you can go back here too, and this is really important, right? Again, on the daily, you're seeing right here, we got into an oversold situation down here on the prime oscillator. All right, we saw the price action was flat, and then we saw a bottoming indication. But that's not where I would enter, right? So this is what raises my alert or gets me interested in going long. And the reason I say that is because then you start seeing the RSI press up, you get those bullish divergences, right? Price is still actually trending down a little bit, ever so slightly, but then you're seeing the RSI trending up after a bottoming indicator. That is the power of Chart Prime also. So if you guys don't have that, definitely take a look at it, because man, it is printing some very, very, I'm not going to say it's leading indicator, but it's really giving you some ideas of when you can go long and when you can go short. So just wanted to point that out to you guys.
Nice. No, that's a good points, and good layout there. OC, what you got for us, brother, on Bitcoin, and then let's get into it.
Absolutely. So you guys can see this all time. I'm going to be bringing up two kind of analysis that I've been following up recently. So the first one is that I've been calling for a couple of months, where I do speculate on this kind of movement. Look at AB and then a little movement there and then a drop. So we have AB. What is different from this other one, but I still believe that's going to happen, it is that we have a third topping here, which is made for the approval of the ETF. Also, remember, on the approval of the ETF here on the show, I was saying I believe that it's going to go a little bit higher and then drop back down. So look at where we are right now on a very, very important trend line that dates back a long time ago here. So if we are not able to make it through within this week, or at most I would, and this is an educated guess, guys, all right, within the weekend, Monday and Tuesday, I believe that we're gonna be finding some support back somewhere here at 36, even 34 zones. And I've been looking at this area for a long, long time, and that is because out of this box that we've been basically trading within, the center of that box, it's right there at 35,500. So just to wrap it up, let me show you the most recent analysis that I had in here. That was, I believe, from yesterday or the day before. Let me see. It was on Binance. This is Binance perpetual contracts. This is it. Here we go. This is the two. Let me see if I can go far back here. The two channels that we're looking for. I need to go to daily to show you this big channel, but I believe that you can clearly see it before I move out. And then I have the same channel the trade flight was showing. All right. Remember, I usually repeat, it is not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and we are ranging. So remember, in ranges, I do say, or I do think that there are unknown breakouts. So basically, I'm not either bullish, neither bearish or on ranges, but the clock is ticking, and that coin might be flipping out, because right now we're getting some very bullish signals, but we don't see Bitcoin moving. If I'm started breaking back below and not flipping up before the bottom or the center here before this week also, I believe that we're not gonna make it past the dynamic reactor, and we're gonna be finding again support back on this trend line, which is again 34, 35, or somewhere around those areas. I do believe that Christian Major is also showing the chat that he is almost within the same zones of bearishness. But I mean, the only bullish side will be that we break back above and we see that big body candle in here, just like this one, just like this one, just like this one, breaking through, piercing through that resistance, making that comeback, and then we're good to go for the races. So that's what I got for Bitcoin.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to jump over here real fast and just someone was talking, I think it might have been Christian Major, that was talking about $32,000 Bitcoin. If we're going to do 32,000, guys, it might as well be 31,100, because that's going to be the 50, the 0.5 on the Fibonacci. So if you're going to say 32, you might as well say 31. That's just how that's going to work out. I don't think that we're going to break, though, that 36,340 as of right now. I think that that's going to be a wick down into that golden pocket, maybe hit the 786. Because I'll tell you right now, if we come in before, let's see here, January 22nd, and we break down to 32,000. We have broken the 786 for the first time in history, and we've got a bigger problem. Just so you guys are tracking, we've never ever broken this line, the 786, ever in history of Bitcoin. So this long running fib channels here, 32,000. You should be praying that we never do that, because we've never ever broken into the platinum pocket on here. So I want to go over and talk about Near. Yesterday on TA Talk, and if you guys missed it, TA Talks was is a live show that OC and I do together on the Discord for Chart Prime. It's open to the public, and yesterday we had a call to look at Near, so we checked out Near Protocol. On that show, I told everybody that we were looking at this upside. That would have been right about here. I said, we're getting this bounce out for the money flow index, and I would be looking for us to come up and test this trend line, the 0.5 Fibonacci, and the dynamic reactor. Well, you can see that we rejected off of it. It came all the way down to here. We went back up, rejected off it again, and it came all the way down to its current level. So two chances, two opportunities for people to get in on that trade yesterday. If you got in on any of it, you could have made a little profit margin of about 4% on the first one and about almost 5% on the second one without any leverage. But what I want to point out, the reason, excuse me, the reason that I'm bringing this up right now is we do have an uptrend on the oscillator. We do have the ribbon about to do a ribbon twist and get to the upside here. We're down in that 30% range, and the signal line is buried. I think that Near Protocol is poised for another run up, and maybe on this time, because the 0.5 is so high, that we do get above that dynamic reactor and that trend line, and that could give us upside. Of course, this is all dependent upon Bitcoin. It's got its vote, and right now Bitcoin just kind of sideways, which means sideways action on Bitcoin gives opportunity for alts to do something just like that. So there you go. There's your Near Protocol. I'm gonna kick it over to TradeFly. What you got for us on the look there, TradeFly?
Yeah, buddy. All right. So Kristen actually asked for Gala. So I'm gonna give you a word of caution just on Gala if you read up on it a little bit. And I can't remember if it was the CEO or one of the bigger individuals within the project will say one of the things he said is don't use Gala as an investment. He did say that himself. It is a token that's supposed to be traded within the ecosystem, but he did give that the caution to say, hey, be careful with investing in it, because it is going to be more volatile than your traditional projects. All right. Now, second thing I'll say, one of the things you were looking at was potentially DCAing. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit first. We'll kind of work our way in. I know you asked for a 4-hour, but I want to go to the weekly. There's room for growth, brother. You could DCA at any point on this one. Just looking at it, like this thing at any point could break out. And I'm not going to say it's going to go back to all-time highs, but once the market starts moving up and right again, there's potential there. I will say it hasn't correlated as much to some of the other projects or Bitcoin itself. You know, they've had some pretty major moves. Gala has not moved as much, so that would give me some pause personally. But let's go ahead and look at the daily here. And we did have a rising wedge. Looks like we broke out of that, and we did hit a smart target right there. And it also correlated with the 200-day SMA, right? So that's always a very important one to keep in your scan. Did find support there at the 200-day SMA, and now it looks like it's consolidating and kind of trying to make a decision on which way it wants to go here. I think it's going to be based on the market. We also had a bottom indication here on the MVP oscillator, and you do see prime oscillator kind of trending down and right. So your targets were the 0.02 and the 0.018, if I remember correctly. That would make sense, man. You got an order block here at about the 0.02, and then the 0.018, that does coincide with some support. You can see it here, here, and here, and you see that nice wick off of there. And then it actually broke down, came up, and actually could see, support. It was resistance, it broke through, and then came and acted as support before we saw that uptrend, right? So that's a good area. I like the area that you picked out there. However, the first area I'm looking at personally here is the 200-day SMA. That's always one of the most important, right? So, you know, that's the area I would be personally keeping an eye on first. However, you know, looking at it, it's consolidating, and we could potentially see a pullback. I think really this one's going to be based on the rest of the crypto market as that moves, or some news comes out about Gala making some kind of, news for themselves in terms of like they're releasing a project or a game or some kind of news. So do your research on that one. But grand scheme of things, zoom out, look at the weekly, DCA at any point on Gala, honestly.
Nice. OC, what you got for us, bro? And then I'm going to be going into Clean Spark because we had a request for Clean Spark. So I got that one coming up after you.
Absolutely. I see that AR4 Chain requested how to use a Bitcoin dominance. Let me just dive within that because I believe that is a very important question. So Bitcoin dominance is basically how Bitcoin compares in terms of value and volume on the rest of the crypto space. All right. So the lower the crypto dominance is, it means that the less value or there's less money is rushing on Bitcoin, but going in, or most probably going to other altcoins. So when you see decreasing on Bitcoin dominance, most likely we're going to be seeing a increase of altcoins, value and volatility in price action. And when we see the Bitcoin dominance rushing up, we could be seeing the opposite, basically a decrease on value on the other altcoins. So that is basically how you start looking at. As you can see, previously I was looking at previous ones where we could be seeing a bounce. You can see that I was looking at this area. It was just slightly below, but instead of actually moving up very hardly, hard, it started making a range, which again, it's another way of correcting. So when we're talking about a sell signal, a correction will be to the upside. So let me just clear this up and also see what's happening. So we see a steady move on Bitcoin, which will indicate me that the Bitcoin price, it is not moving at this point. Neither altcoins are actually moving that much because money is neither rushing in or rushing out. It's just getting stable at that area. And we can actually see that happening right now on Bitcoin. So that is my take on Bitcoin dominance. Up next, I would like to push it back to you guys just to keep this circle. But up next, I do have CHZ that we look at yesterday and play out very nicely, and then also EGLD. So kicking back to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, taking a look at Clean Spark here. Appreciate that, OC. Clean Spark, guys, I'm looking at the daily chart right now, and you can see that we had a perfect rejection here off of the 300-week exponential moving average. We have now broken beneath that 200, and I've got a white line on here, this white trend line, horizontal support here at $6.51. Why is that substantial on here? Well, first off, we've got the dynamic reactor, and we can actually even move this up just a little, about 655, 656. We've got two things going on here for support. We've got the daily dynamic reactor coming in. You can see once we broke it here, it was a retest and then up it went. Also previous resistance back here, a little fake out action, but definitely have had some solid plays on the 100-week exponential moving average. Let me get rid of all my white lines there because, clean the plates off. Clean the plates off. I am looking for us to come back down and probably test that dynamic reactor with that 100-week exponential moving average. Also, in addition, on the daily, we do have the oversold blocks down here that have started to print on the Oscillator Pro, and we're about to get that ribbon twist, but it's not quite there yet. It looks like we still have a little bit more. So if Bitcoin sell-off continues to happen with the miners, very likely could see Clean Spark come down here and hit that level. I am also looking at the RSI Prime. We're sitting right there below that 30%, but we still have some movement lines, movement distance here that we can move on the Ichimoku oscillator. So that signal line right there could still be moving down to the downside. We can get quite a few of these here printing off, giving us that little quick wick down there. I would look again at about $6.56 for me to enter into a buy on Clean Spark, but that's what I'm looking up for support there. Let's also go ahead and take a look here. I want to bring up the oscillator, the Market Dynamics Pro, turn off that, and let's get and see what we got going on in here. Let's get rid of all the brush marks. Bye, brush marks. Goodbye. We're right now about to hit the support line of the predictive ranges. And you can see it was right up there at that upper resistance band. This is your support band. There's your trade bracket with your delta. There's your top frame. There's your bottom frame. Laid it all out for you there, guys. If we break this, I would, again, be looking. So if we don't break it right now, which is sitting at $7.09, then this might be where we start to see the oscillator play in with what we showed you down here. But if we do break it, again, $6.56 is what I'm looking at on CleanSpark. There's your predictive ranges, and there's how we're looking on for that move there. What I do want to point out, last thing though, I'm going to turn all this off, and we're going to take a look here at the fibs, and we're going to take a look here at the fixed range volume profile. So moving here, turn off the moving averages. Let's get rid of that. There we go. It's just price. That's all we got on here. Price and a couple of lines. Let's go back to our previous range back here, which is about where we rejected on a double top on CleanSpark. And let's go grab some fibs. Let's turn on the magnet so I can lock it right on top of that wick. There we go. Bam. Down to the bottom. And right there we go. Taking a look at that, guys, we did break the 50. And I told you, when we get a 50 break to the downside beneath it, that is bearish. If this comes up and rejects off of that, that would be the retest. And look where that line's at. It's coming right there in line almost perfectly with the next level down, which is going to be your 382. That would be what I'm watching for on there. And let's throw on that fixed range volume profile. Come over here, grab that, and I'll show you guys how to do this. Fixed range volume profile. We're going to bring it back for this last high also. Bring it all the way over. We've lost the value area high on this. If we don't hold the 382, guys, we could easily be heading down to the 236. And by that time, this point of control could easily have shifted into there based on all the price action that takes place in here. So be aware. We could get pretty low on CleanSpark if we don't get a turnaround on the miner sentiment of selling off their Bitcoin right now. We could be looking at that to happen. I don't think that is, though. I think more likely, the more likely case is that we either get that move from the dynamic reactor, from the predictive ranges that we're on right now, that one that we're on right here, or if we do break that, it's because we bounce off of the 50, come down and hit that other line down there, that other fib down there, which is coming directly in line here with your dynamic reactor. And again, that 100-week exponential moving average. That's what I got for CleanSpark. I hope that helped you out, man. Back to you, TradeFly. What you got, bro?
All right, I'm gonna show you guys how lethal freaking chart prime is. So I got the NASDAQ pulled up. All right, this is the daily, and I want you to see the last few times that it's printed this divergence here. So you see this line right here showing you divergence. All right, print it, and then came down. Let's see, to right here, about 6% move in the NASDAQ. That's pretty significant. All right, print it again. Check this out. From here to the 200-day SMA, again, about a 6%, almost 7% move. We've printed another one. And so that's kind of why I'm saying, hey, keep your eyes on this. All right. And I'm not saying like use one indicator, it's the end all be all. However, it has printed something that's been significant over the last 2 times. And you're also seeing, so there was a bottom indication here, it flipped. But the thing that I'm really focusing on right now, and it always gives me pause every time I see any project, any market, anything get up to an all-time high, I'm on high alert. I am automatically on high alert. And when I see, I'm not going to call it a double top, but it's if you look at the 4-hour, you could call it a double top, but then you see that divergence there with that. So it means that it is losing a little bit of strength. I'm just going to say, do your own research on this. And I would definitely be, keeping an eye on this. I am personally. Okay. So I'm going to say that right now, that I am looking at this area, and if we get any sort of negative news or Powell comes out and he says something that's marginally hawkish, I'm going to expect a pullback from this area. So again, high alert, not saying to just short everything, but I will say that I am personally looking at the NASDAQ and a potential short opportunity here.
Very nice. Yeah. And you should, that is the mentality you should have. When you hit all-time highs, you should be a little scared. That's when most people, that's when every single person that owns that asset is in profit, guys. Everyone's in profit. No one is selling at a loss at that point if they sell. So even if they sell off a little bit and take some profit to hold it, that's still sell pressure. So yes, you absolutely, that's when things go into craziness, and usually shorts, a lot of times when you hit all-time highs, shorts can get liquidated. And then FOMO kicks in, and then it just goes parabolic, which we see every 4 years in crypto. But yes, perfect mentality to have. And the understanding is that at this moment, every single this
I don't know if I'm the only one, but just one thing I'll point out once he fixes his, the thing that I'm really looking for is the breakdown of that all-time high. So see continuation, but if it breaks down, that's really what I'm going to be looking for here. See if we got
how's my audio now? I think I fixed it. There we go.
Gotcha. You're back, brother.
Yeah, don't know what happened there. But yeah, every single person is in profit. If you guys did not hear that, when you hit an all-time high, everyone that owns that asset in profit, they're likely going to take a little bit of profits off the table. So, and that's sell pressure. So, OC, let's kick it over to you. You said you had a couple of assets, and then we'll wrap it.
Perfect. So, Major Painter, Christian Major was requesting Chili's. I was surprised that actually yesterday was request this asset. In fact, yesterday again on Tik that is free for everybody to join into the Discord of Chart Prime. Well, I was very surprised that Chili's kind of like came back from the dead, for me at least, and it has a beautiful movement and it was making a pennant. But remember, yesterday, if you were in the class, I was talking about a possible breakout to that area. Why? Because we had this movement going downwards on the oscillator. We still above the zero line. That's why I'm still bullish in it. I was expecting a bounce a little bit earlier in here. It seems that it's going to happen somewhere in here. Again, I'm not calling up for an absolute bounce or flip of the ribbon on the zero line. What I'm saying is that if we bounce off here, we're still bullish and we could be making the next movement, which again, if this breaks the zero line, we're going to be visiting other areas. So I was expecting it came out, retest, and look at that, we did that beautiful retest, and off we go to the high confluence zone. And why was I expecting this high confluence zone? Well, then we had a couple of things happening there. Let me show it to you. We have this blue line here. We also have some support zones right here, a bunching up, especially this number one support on the daily. And then we also have, oh, where is it? Oh, well, that is just good enough, right? For bunching up some assets. So also another thing that I was performing yesterday was a DNA or fingerprint analysis, which is the behavior of this asset based on previous zones. And as we were going up, we can see this pullback as we move, as we keep moving forward. And what happened here, we did have that pullback happening here. So what am I expecting? I am, by the way, this is not based on on 100%, but I am much more bullish than bearish, and I am expecting a bounce out of this area with the flip of the ribbon. All right, if I see it the other way around, if I see this ribbon breaking through, there is no doubt for me that I'm gonna go check out the dynamic reactor or even some further support that we have all the way down there. But so far, the strongest one, it is dynamic reactor, because we have a bunch of soft order blocks. I mean, the more order blocks that you add, doesn't matter if they are soft, they bunched up and then they start taking some liquidity out of the movement. So that's what I'm looking for, guys. I am a little more bullish than bearish. I do expect a bounce out of here, but if not, my next target will be at 0.089, and I'm gonna set an alert as soon as we break through this area so I can get alerted here. By the way, guys, just so you know, we did got cross that line. We set it up yesterday, as you can see right there, and also we had EGLD. But trying to it back to you guys, and on my next round, if we have time, I'll go over EGLD.
Go ahead and do EGLD now, because we're about the top of the hour, the hour mark for the show. So go ahead and finish it up.
Perfect. So we on EGLD, we're looking at the Wyckoff range. That's why we have this upper range, lower range for those springs, and also the center most important ranging zone. As you can see, I do have an alert here. That alert was ringing before, and also I have an alert right here as we cross to this trend line, and we are crossing to that trend line. We are pretty bearish in the consolidation score. It is 9, very, very high, which means we are about to break the consolidation. And are we on consolidation? Yes, absolutely. If I'm very, very, very picky, I could actually set another inside range at this area, but I'm not going to, because that is for me just being extremely picky. So I'm looking at this area for a possible reversal, because my shorting zone was all the way up here. My next longing zone will be somewhere around here. And just in case we have that spring, I will be to my position right after crossing the 48.49. This is not financial advice, guys, but we are bearish so far, but we are clearly into a consolidation. That's why I am trying to apply my hedging strategy. So that's what I got on EGLD. So it seems like today we're going to have some very nice entries.
Nice. Perfect. Well, there you go, guys. That is the show today. We appreciate you guys being here. I want to give a shout out to 2 weeks in the chat talking about there you guys go worshiping Orange Man and Orange Coin. Actually, go back and watch the show. We actually talked about how he doesn't have those powers in the executive branch because of the beauty of the Constitution. If it gets pushed up enough by the other two branches of legislation, then it will not be his call to make. So go back and check out the show. But hey, the thumbnail worked. You joined us here, and so thanks for jumping into Piper Academy today, guys. TradeFly OC guy, you guys got anything you want to put out?
Oh, yeah. Just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming to today's show. We truly, truly appreciate it. Go ahead, give us a like and follow over at Twitter. OC Guy, do me a solid. Point at those things over your head here. I'm going to go ahead, do the heart. Let's get that going. Bam.
Yeah, follow us over there on X, guys. We're always posting stuff over there. Also, right above TradeFly's head, if you want to point up TradeFly. Chart Prime, if you want to get our indicators that we use, you can get 45% off. The best discount in the market exists right here in the link down in the below in the description. You'll get 45% off your first monthly or quarterly. And you get 6 hours of live classes with OC Guy every week over in the Discord. So teaching you how to use those indicators and a whole lot more. So guys, join us over there. We appreciate you guys being here today. I'm going to go ahead and solo this out unless you got anything OC you want to say. Go for it.
No, that's fine. I mean, thank you guys for joining. Like, we really, really appreciate we're breaking the 7K, the 700. Sorry, I wish 7K.
I wish 7K.
Okay, it's happening. You think it'll happen.
It's going to happen. Exactly. Absolutely.
I love it. Visualize it. Visualize it.
Keep pushing, guys. Please click that like button, share, and comment. That really help us, guys. Spread the love, and kicking it back to you, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Guys, thanks for joining us here today on Piper Academy. We'll be back here tomorrow morning with all the news, the markets, the economics, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit right there. Appreciate it, guys. Also, don't forget, tomorrow morning, we're going to have Alex O Crypto on the show. The man, the myth, the legend, the rock star. He's going to be joining us here on Piper Academy. So join us tomorrow morning. If you're with the OGs, we'll be glad to see you here. And shout out to our newest mod, Alexandra G, guys. We appreciate our mod so much. So you guys give her a shout. Give her a shout. Make her feel welcome in the chat there. Our newest mod, Alexandra G, in the house. So we will catch you guys tomorrow. Until then, you guys, trade safe, and as always, use a stop loss.
That was awesome, dude!